Over the past 4 years, my wife and I have built up a real estate portfolio of just over $1.1 million, while only having to put down $34,000. And from that $34,000 investment, we are able to receive about $2,300 in pure cash flow. But the best thing is that these strategies can be easily replicated so that you can go out there and do it yourself. So make sure to stick around and listen to all the strategies that we implemented into our real estate business. And please, if you wouldn't mind going down and liking this video for the YouTube algorithm. Now, you might be thinking to yourself that $34,000 is such a little amount to invest in to receive over $1.1 million of real estate. And you're correct. But you also have to understand that there are a lot of ways to invest in real estate with low or no money down, which my wife and I took advantage of. Now, the first strategy that we implemented is by far my favorite. Now, I will always stand by the fact that house hacking is the best way to get into real estate investing with such little risk and not a lot of money down. Whether it's a single family or a multifamily property, by generating income from your primary home, it eliminates a lot of risk that comes with real estate investing. My wife and I purchased this 4-unit apartment complex in December of 2020 by using an FHA 3.5% down loan. Meaning by using this loan, we only had to put 3.5% down of the purchase price as long as we agreed to live in the property for at least 1 year. Now, I found this property by driving for dollars in a local neighborhood to where I saw a for rent sign in one of the windows. I noticed that it was a multifamily building, so I reached out and called the number that was on the for rent sign and just said, would you sell this property to us instead of renting it out? To which they agreed, and fast forward 2 months and we are officially closing on this 4-unit. With a purchase price of $430,000 with a seller contribution of around $5,000, we were able to only put down $25,000 of our own cash into this property to purchase it. But the best benefit was that the other 3 units were actually paying down our mortgage, all the expenses on the property, and paying us $800 every single month just to live in our own property. Now you can probably tell why I love house hacking. The fact that we got it undervalued and it was mismanaged meant that we could go in there, slowly fix it up, raise rents to market rents, and force appreciation into this building. So after purchasing the property, raising rents, fixing the property up, refinancing, and moving out and renting the unit that we were actually living in, this property generates about $1,900 of pure cash flow every single month with an equity of about $150,000. The value of this property today based on local comps is right around $550,000. Now, after moving out of our 4-unit, we purchased and moved into a single family home in a desirable neighborhood for a great price. And the reason we did this is because we planned on living there for a short amount of time as we grow our family and then rent this property out that we're currently living in. We purchased this one in December of 2021, and this one is really not that exciting. We purchased this with a conventional 3% down loan, so low payment to get into this as well. We were able to negotiate a large amount of seller contributions, so we only had to come out of pocket about $9,000 on this property. And that is with a purchase price of $265,000. One tip I want to share is that you should always invest with the end in sight. And that's exactly why we actually purchased this property. It's in a great area where the tenants are typically families with higher incomes, and we're going to be able to rent this out no problem at all and probably get about $400 to $600 of pure cash flow every single month once we move out. And on a $9,000 investment to get about $400 or $600 of cash flow every single month, we will definitely take it. But not only will we get the cash flow, we'll get appreciation, loan pay down, and tax benefits that come with this property as well as we keep it for a longer term and then eventually sell it and turn that into something else. Like I said, we got at a good price of $265,000, and to be conservative based off local comps, this is probably worth about $290,000 today. Now, this next purchase is a very exciting purchase because we were able to purchase a cash flowing duplex for $0 out of our pocket and in a very creative way. Now, after investing in real estate for a couple years, the properties that you purchased a couple years ago will increase in value. You'll have loan pay down on them, so the loans get paying down, and it will create a bigger equity spread in that property. And once you have equity in a property, you can start leveraging that to purchase more properties. And that's exactly what we did. Remember that 4 unit that we were just talking about in this video? Well, we were able to purchase that at such an undervalued price. We fixed it up, raised rents, increased the value to where we were able to pull out a home equity line of credit and use the equity inside of that property to go purchase another. Now, a home equity line of credit is basically a revolving line of credit that you can use from the equity inside one of your properties, and you basically use it similar to a credit card. And we purchased this duplex for $270,000 in March of 2022. But this is where things start getting interesting. With the commercial bank that we decided to go with, they wanted 25% down on this property. But we were able to negotiate, and the seller agreed to seller finance $60,000. So by going back to the bank agreed to use that $60,000 of seller contribution as part of the down payment on this property. So instead of $67,500 that we had to put down, you would subtract that $60,000 of seller financing that they agreed to take towards that down payment, and we were left over with only having to pay $7,500 plus closing costs, which came out to roughly $19,000 when it was all said and done. Now, I hope that all made sense. Now, instead of pulling that $19,000 out of our own pocket, we were able to go to our home equity line of credit we had on our 4 unit, pull out from that and pay all of that $19,000 towards what we owed on the property. So all in all, we were able to purchase this property for $270,000. We only had to put $19,000 because of the seller financing, and we paid the $19,000 with our home equity line of credit that we pulled from our 4 unit, allowing us to put absolutely $0 down on this property. Now, every month we actually cash flow $400 a month, and that includes the expense of everything on the property and the home equity line of credit monthly payment and seller financing monthly payment as well. So after a couple years, when we refinance into a new loan and we can pay off the seller financing note and the amount that we owe on the HELOC, the cash flow in this property is going to rise and we'll be put in a very good situation. Since we purchased this property not that long ago and we leveraged this property quite a bit, we don't have much equity in it, but we are going to go with $270,000 as the value as well. So as it stands right now, both of our rental properties are generating $2,300 of pure cash flow every single month, and all of our properties, including our primary house, are worth roughly $1.1 million. Like I said, this portfolio can be easily replicated based off of the low down payment strategies that we actually use. I hope you learned some new and valuable real estate strategies to implement into your real estate business. Thank you for watching and happy investing.